Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This reflection has been sitting with me for a very, very long time. Actually, since my A-levels more than 40 years ago, when I was first introduced to Einstein's theory of relativity. At that age, I didn't fully understand the mathematics behind it. But there was one line that stayed with me. Einstein said the past, the present, and the future all existed at the same time. To a 17-year-old, that idea felt like someone had pulled back the curtains of reality. How can tomorrow already exist? And how can yesterday still be here? I didn't have that language to describe what I felt then. But somehow, deep inside, the idea made sense. Years later, in fact, decades, as I matured, as I grew through life, I realized why that idea resonated so strongly. Our faith has been teaching the truth all along. Allah tells us that He created time, not just the passing of hours, the minutes, or the seconds, but time itself, a construct. He created the night and the day. He tells us a day with Him is like 1,000 years for us. And in another verse, He mentioned that the angels ascend to Him in a day that is equivalent to 50,000 years in our time. Now, these verses aren't just metaphors. They are a reminder that what we call time is a construct, is a creation, a structure, a fabric, if you want to say. And we are placed onto that fabric for a very short journey, which is this dunya. Over the years, I began imagining time like a giant mural, a canvas stretched across existence. Every moment, every birth, every setback, every joy, every prayer, every heartbreak is a stroke of paint already on that canvas. Allah sees the entire painting all at once. But we, with our limitation, we stand so close that our noses touch the canvas. We only see one stroke, one color, one moment. But we think that is the whole story. Einstein reached a similar conclusion with mathematics. He said time doesn't flow. Instead, everything already is in one grand structure called Spacetime. We move across it, and that movement gives us the illusion of past and future. But Allah, He never moves through time. Time moves because He has created it and He willed it. Time exists because of His creation. And when you understand that, your view of life begins to shift. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you begin asking, what is the moment trying to show me? What part of the canvas am I being brought to now? Because the moment was already there. You were simply arriving at it. You were arriving at a particular thread. I've had moments in my own life, near-death experiences, moments of heartbreak, moments of immense joy, where everything felt sudden, as if I had been thrown into something unexpected. And only later did I realize that these moments weren't random. They were brushstrokes on the canvas that had always been there waiting for me. This understanding gives a different meaning to Sabr. Patience is not passive. It is not resignation. Sabr is recognizing that the moment you are in has been placed there with wisdom. It's staying upright, staying sincere, staying connected to Allah while you walk through that particular moment. Tawakkul also changes. Trust is not closing your eyes and hoping things will go your way. Trust is walking forward, knowing the canvas has already been painted by the one who knows what is ahead of you. And if you look at dua, subhanallah, dua is not just us trying to change the canvas. Dua is one of the strokes on that canvas. Allah has already written not only the outcome, but the actual act, the actual movement of you raising your hands and calling unto Him. When you make dua, you are stepping into the part of the story where your heart meets His mercy. Even grief becomes different. When the people we love return to Allah, the pain, yes, the pain is real. But the chaos that surrounds it softens. Their departure was already written before their arrival. Their time with us, every moment, was apportioned with mercy. And then there's Dhikr, where Allah reminds us to remember Him. In a world where time feels uncertain, where the future feels unclear, Dhikr becomes the anchor. When we remember Allah, we are not escaping the moment. We are actually grounding ourselves in the only reality that doesn't change. The dhikr reminds the heart that the past, the present, and the future are all held together by Allah. When you live with that awareness, something begins to settle inside you. You stop fearing the future because the future is simply the next step on the canvas Allah has already prepared. You stop replaying the past because the past is exactly where it needed to be. You stop fighting every moment because the moment itself was part of the design. And instead of asking, why me? You will begin to ask, how can this moment bring me closer to seeing the full mural, the full painting Allah has painted for me, for my life? This is the journey. This is the test. This is the mercy. May Allah allow us to walk across His canvas with clarity, with patience, with trust, with hearts that stay in remembrance of Him. Ameen. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Wabillahi tawfiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.